Hi everyone, this is David Morning, and this is my Quality Matters rubric review on a course that I took last summer called ACT 651 Science, Curriculum, and Reform. This was a endorsement class for my STEM certification that goes along with my graduate studies for the Masters of Ed in the Technology and Innovation Department. So, Dr. Nanette Dietrich was kind enough to reopen this class back up for me. Overall, I really enjoyed this class. There were lots of hands-on learning project-based activities in this course that really grabbed my attention and really made me want to be an active member and participant throughout this course. So I'm just going to go down my rubric and share some of the things that I noticed with you with this online D2L course with Dr. Nanette Dietrich. So, starting with the course overview and the introduction, there were very clear instructions of what is expected from the students. You can see Dr. Dietrich has her information. She has her phone number, her personal phone number as well, that you can go and contact her if you have any questions with a call, text, or you can email her as well. I really like the layout of this course. It was very organized, separated by what is important, especially with the important information at the top of the page rather than at the bottom of the page. You can see here we have some technology help assistance with the IT help desk through Millersville, the due dates over on the right-hand side, and her announcements. Basically, her announcements really described the due dates, the progression of the course, and at the very bottom, you can see she even included a introduction video that explains the course, explains some of the objectives, explains some of the goals and what the students are going to be expected to do throughout the course, and it really highlights what the students are going to be looking forward to in this course. So you can see there, this is all of her homepage. Now, when you go to the Content tab, and you can see all of her modules on the left-hand side, everything is broken up into modules, and each module has a specific due date of when something is due. In the Getting Started tab, I was checking out the course overview. Obviously, this really stuck out to me because it's capital letters and it says read first. So obviously, Dr. Dietrich really wanted you to get an overview of what the course is, some of the course goals and objectives. Some of the objectives were measurable. Some of them were not so measurable. Those would be more of a goal type activity for the students to do. So some of the goals and objectives in this course was to describe the attributes and goals of STEM education, participate in an inquiry investigation and analyze its alignment to STEM goals, explore and analyze innovative STEM projects, assemble a portfolio of STEM curriculum and resources, identify effective assessment strategies for STEM learning, and find, modify a STEM activity for classroom use. And the really cool thing that I liked about her objectives and goals is something that was mentioned in Chapter 3 was the progression. There was a clear progression of what is expected from the students. The very beginning of the course in Module 1, you're going to see some of those activities where the students just have to really just describe some of the goals of STEM education, what STEM education looks like. And by the end of the course, you can see find, modify a STEM activity for classroom use. This was what Dr. Dietrich classified as her inquiry lab, her capstone project, I believe that's what it was called, where you are using everything you learned throughout this course and really making it a real world, authentic learning experience. Again, that was something that was mentioned in Chapter 3 as well. And you can see what is expected in each of the modules. Everything is very detailed, specific, what the netiquette is of the course. I believe that was one of the standards that was addressed on the QM rubric. Some of the assessment expectations, course participants and their expectations with the group discussion. She has a group discussion rubric that she uses when she analyzes how effective a student's learning is when they are responding to one another. And at the very bottom too, to kind of just show that you read this, that she even included an Easter egg. If you read the statement, tell me the name of your favorite candy bar in your Module 1 screencast and receive a 1+ bonus point. So it's just a kind of a way to hold the students accountable and making sure they know the expectations of the course, which the quality measured rubric, quality matter rubric, really highlighted. So that's a lot for the course overview and the introduction. I gave her this course lots of points according to the rubric. So I'm going to go back to the content tab. And let's talk a little bit about the learning objectives and the activities that are being used with the assessments. So in each module, you can see that each module always starts with a module overview. Let's go to Module 1 and check out Module 1 overview. You can see at the beginning of each module overview, you're going to have the module, the objectives. Now, these objectives aren't always measurable. They're more of what is expected, what you're going to be doing in this module. So I didn't really give this course as many points on the Quality Matters rubric when it came to making sure that the objectives were very measurable. But they do align with what the objective of the goal of the course is. You can see the module overview, very detailed of what is expected in the activities. You have your module content, which is the more of the instructional material part for the Quality Matter rubric. You have your assessments. Now, the really nice thing I liked about this course is that the assessments, there was lots of different assessments. She had you doing PowerPoints, screencasts. You heard me a little bit talking about the capstone project at the end of the course. If you saw at the beginning of the course on the homepage, she had a laboratory supplies for Module 2. And Module 2, in this course, the students had to create a water cycle using these materials, alum, sand, gravel, charcoal, and whatever else was given to us. And it was really cool because we weren't necessarily supposed to go on and figure out, well, how can you create a water cycle filtration using these materials? And we kind of had to use an inquiry-based mindset when figuring out how to do these activities. So Chapter 4 in our text really highlights the use of different assessment tools when using online courses. So going back to, I'm going to go back to Module 1, content. Go back to the module overview. Another thing I wanted to highlight is after her assessments, she also gave some additional but not required readings. And I really liked how her additional readings were also cited correctly as well. They gave us the information and the title of it and the date it was published. And as well, I wanted to address that the module content that's provided under each module, each section, the QM rubric really highlights making sure that the instructional materials are aligned with the goals, the objectives. They are used in an appropriate way. The student can go to these resources when trying to dive in deeper into their learning. So the Quality Matters rubric really highlights that. And I was able to give points for this course. One aspect of this course that didn't get as many points was the accessibility. Not that the course itself isn't accessible, but the Quality Matters rubric really highlights the use of providing the use of like assistive technology and things like that when the student is struggling with using the online course. This course doesn't really state any accommodations that could be used. Again, I'm not saying that the accommodations couldn't be used. I'm sure Dr. Dietrich is very aware of these accommodations and very aware of the students that would need those accommodations. And I'm sure she would go above and beyond to make sure those students are able to be successful throughout this course. But I really liked overall, my favorite part about this course was just the progression. And chapter 3 really highlights that progression, making sure that the students are meeting those objectives and those goals. So you can see that in each module, they have the overview and then the discussion topic. So just the very beginning of the course, they have what is STEM. The students just have to create a screencast video of them describing what STEM is. You can see the next module was that inquiry lab where the students had to create a filtration. Module 3 was an in-depth analysis, again, going back to chapter 4, focusing on those different assessments where they have to explore one of the students' filtration systems and discuss the in-depth analysis behind it. Then we had to do some curriculum portfolios, another inquiry, but doing a closed reading guide, and ending with that capstone project, which is very real world. And another piece of this is that this course was very had that constructivist approach where the students are really making a lot of the decisions, deciding what it is that they want to do, and providing that opportunity for lots of online collaboration. So throughout this course, what really kind of stuck out to me and what I need to focus on with my online learning, my inclement weather activity, is making sure I provide that opportunity for lots of different activities, lots of different opportunities to assess my students and making sure that they are being successful within the topic that I'm trying to teach. So I also want to make sure that my objectives are very clear, just like Dr. Dietrich does in her each module. There's a module overview. I want to make sure my objectives are very clear, my goals are very clear, and what is expected within my students. Not so much for the student purpose, but for me to kind of hold me accountable as well. And also, I want to make sure that I have this progression, just like Dr. Dietrich uses in this course, progression, and making sure I follow through all the steps needed. My inclement weather activities using word problems. So really making sure that I start at the very basic and then work my way up to what is expected in the ultimate goal of what I want students to do within the course. So overall, this course, I gave it a 90 out of 99, which does meet the quality matter expectations. And I really enjoyed this course, and kind of a shout out to Dr. Dietrich for doing such a wonderful job at setting the course up, making sure it's organized, and really highlighting the expectations of what is expected for the students to do, lining it with the objectives and the goals. Thanks.